Welcome to 916's YouTube channel. This is our first video, and it is our top 10 tips to succeed in a startup. We filmed it in 10 installments and posted on LinkedIn over 10 days, so you'll see kind of a break between each of the tips. In the description, I've put in each of the tips and the time associated with each tip in case you want to fast forward or rewind. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to your feedback and comments. Thank you. Hey guys, I get asked quite a bit, how do I succeed in a startup? I'm thinking about joining one. It seems so exciting and fun and interesting. What advice would you give me? And depending on who asks me, I generally give a different response, and it's usually based on their experience level or the role or what have you. But the more and more I think about it, I think there's 10 things that probably apply to anyone, regardless of role or experience or any of that. And I thought I'd share these 10 different tips with the LinkedIn community over the next 10 days. So every day I will share one tip. So let's get into it. Number one, sense of urgency. So what does that mean, sense of urgency? Well, startups are constantly changing. Every day is different. Things are moving very quickly. Now, okay, fine, what does that mean to me? Well, that means the status quo is unacceptable, okay? Now, you gotta move fast, okay? Now, that doesn't mean let's run around like maniacs, like everything, my hair's on fire, it's crazy, I'm so busy, this and that, another thing. Okay, no, that's not it, okay? You have to work smart, but you need to accomplish the most important things now. Delivery is everything, and certain things will not be able to wait a day or two. Okay, now that's sense of urgency. If you can bring that every single day to the office, you will be successful in a startup. That's tip number one. I'll see you guys tomorrow for tip number two. Thanks. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Here's tip number two. Treat the business like it's your own. So I know it's not your own business. It's a mindset thing. Okay, and I'm going to give you a few examples now. So to start off, you got to bring energy every single day. You have to show passion and enthusiasm in every single thing you do, okay? Your customers and clients are everything. You have to treat them like gold. But you can't forget about your employees. They're equally as important. You need to treat them like family, okay? Check your title at the door. It doesn't mean as much as you might think. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves up from time to time and get involved, okay? Spend the company's money, if you have budget, like it's your own, okay? It doesn't grow on trees. Don't be short-sighted. Think ahead, see the big picture, okay? And finally, go all in. Believe in the company and the culture 110%. If you treat the business like it's your own, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 3. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 3, responsiveness. Nobody likes being ignored, so you need to be proactive rather than reactive. So in this one, communication is key, and I see people fail in this all the time. So don't fall into the trap. The trap is making assumptions, okay? Don't assume it can wait, okay? If no timeline has been shared, ask for one, and don't wait a couple of days to ask for one. Ask for one immediately. Understand what the expectations are of the person that's asked something from you. Don't assume you're bothering someone by sharing an update with them as to where you are. Tell someone immediately that you understand what they've asked for, when you're going to deliver it, and what you're thinking, what your plan is around it. Lastly, don't assume that the person requesting something from you will think less of you because you asked them a question. If you don't understand what they're asking for, you have to get clarity immediately. You'll never deliver a high-quality product unless you understand what the person is asking from you. If you can exercise responsiveness every single day, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 4. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 4, the ability to stand up and be heard. Okay, so you joined the startup, exciting. one of the things you might not realize is you have the luxury of working in a small environment. And what I mean by that is you have access to pretty much anyone in the organization, which is an amazing thing and something that you don't often have within a company. Now, there's lots of power with that, but it's all lost if you're afraid to ask questions and communicate with anyone across the organization. Now, I know that can be intimidating. I've been there. And it can be scary to go up to a CEO and ask them a question or share some information with them. But if you're afraid and you don't do it, you're only disservicing the company and yourself, really. Because startups are trying to move extremely fast towards a vision or to accomplish a goal. Okay, and if you don't speak up, information will get bottled up in silos, okay? Or even worse, things get lost in translation. Things are moving very quickly. Someone might misunderstand something you say. If you don't correct them or clarify what you said, if you're unsure that if they understood you or not, you run big risk of making mistakes and having to start all over again. And there's no time for that type of thing, okay? So if you can exercise the ability to stand up and be heard every single day, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 5. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 5, winning attitude. All right, so I love this one. This is big on the kind of the mindset side of things. So let's get into it. So firstly, you have to believe in yourself and the company, okay? So what does that mean? That is, believing in yourself is confidence in your ability to do whatever it is you're taking on. Now, tell yourself, I am the best salesperson in the world. I am the best accountant in the world. I am the best HR professional in the world, okay? From a company perspective, I work for the greatest company in the world. My company offers the best products and services in the world. We have the best clients. We have the strongest teams in the world, okay? Think that way, talk that way. The more you say it, the more you think about it, the more real it becomes, okay? Next one, see every challenge as an opportunity. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Some of the biggest challenges I faced in my life have become some of my biggest accomplishments, okay? So when you're approached with a challenge or you encounter a challenge, take it head on, get over the obstacle or get over the challenge and keep moving, okay? And amazing things will come from that. Check in every day, okay? When you have to show up. You have to bring your best self every day, okay? And life gets in the way and can get in your head, and that's fine, okay? But try to eliminate the distractions and really focus in on what you're trying to accomplish each day, okay? And where you're trying to get to. And then finally, I thought I'd talk a little bit about failure with this one. So, and failure falls into the winning attitude, okay? Because you're gonna fail, that's gonna happen. The key with this one is you never lose, okay? When you win, you celebrate the success, okay? And when you fail, you learn, okay? And as long as you're learning, you're winning, okay? So bring a winning attitude to work every single day, and you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 6. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 6, keep it simple. So it's smart to keep things simple, right? And in general life, it's smart to keep things simple. But in a startup, it's so critical. And the reason for it is you have to find time for what matters most, okay? So, you have to be careful though, because what ends up happening in this startup environment is things get overcomplicated very quickly. And there's a number of contributing factors to that. And there are things like lack of clarity, lack of vision, a lack of focus or kind of preparation. And then a lot of it is just fire drills that come up, or meetings, or problems, or questions, or anything. There's things are coming at you from all different angles in that environment. Okay, so how do you deal with that? What's a tip to help me deal with that? So something that I've always done that I find useful is bringing things together, like with a focus, with a laser focus, okay? What matters most today? At the start of every day, what matters most today? Okay, what matters most today? What matters most today? Figure that out. Start every single day with that, okay? So that's a good place to start. The other thing, when it comes to presenting and explaining things to people, okay, you're not going to get a reward for, the most scientific, complicated explanation of something. No one's going to give you an award for being the most intelligent person in the company. Simplify what you're telling people. Bring it down to the 9-year-old level, okay? And it's not because people that you're working with are stupid or something like that. It's because people need to easily absorb information quickly so that you can move forward as fast as possible, okay? And the simpler you explain things or present them, the faster people can absorb them and the faster you can then move, okay? So those are two key things that I think help keep things simple. Now, when things start to get overwhelming, right, you're multitasking, you're not feeling great about your work, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, you're spinning wheels, okay? Take a time out, reset, okay? Bring it back to what matters most today, and focus on it. What matters most today? What matters most today? And do that throughout the day as you start to feel overwhelmed, okay? Now, if you can keep things simple, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 7. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 7, flexibility. So, things will never be perfect in a startup. Okay? Constant change will be happening around you at all times. Okay? The business, the environment, the plan will constantly be in flux. And sometimes that's it's a hard thing to deal with and to work with, okay? Because you could put a lot of effort into something, and then the company might completely change direction, and it feels like that work is getting scrapped, and it was a waste of your time, maybe. But you can't really think that way. I mean, the way you should be thinking about that is there's lots of learnings in that effort that you put into whatever that thing is. Now, another important thing to kind of gain from the change is perspective. And sometimes it's easy to kind of build a perspective around the change. Other times it might require more context from leadership, say. So I'd encourage you, if you are feeling frustrated, ask for some more context from leadership and get their thoughts on why the change happened and all of that. And I think that will help you deal with it a little bit better. But I think the main thing around this is really just you need to be able to adapt quickly to the change that's happening around you, okay? So if you can bring flexibility every day into the workplace, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 8. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 8, take a deep breath. Okay, so it's easy to get caught up in the chaos of the day-to-day. Okay, so sometimes you have to take a step back. And, you can't let the pressure build up. Builds up, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. It can really hurt your productivity quite a bit without you even realizing it. So I highly recommend that, at least once a day, you take a break to kind of clear things, okay? And some days you might only have 5 minutes. Other days you might have a little bit longer. But I encourage you to find that release every single day, okay? And, for me, it's probably a walk. I try to take a walk somewhere. I get outside, I get out of the office. It could be something that's within the office, whatever you feel comfortable doing, but something that takes you away from your work, from the chaos, okay? And try to find that and do it once a day. If you can take a deep breath every day, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 9. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? Tip number 9, development. Okay, so you join the startup, and depending on your function, there might be some existing processes that you're following, or maybe there's some new stuff you need to create. Okay, whatever it is, You need to focus on continuously improving it every single day, getting better and better. Okay, so maybe it's, how do I create more impact today than I did yesterday? How do I make this faster? How do I drive sales further? What else can I be doing? What else can I be doing? Constantly asking yourself that, okay? You have to have that inner drive, okay? And the beautiful thing about a startup is you're gonna look back, right? You're gonna go 3 months, you're gonna look back and say, okay, what are all the things I did? And you're gonna be amazed at how much you actually accomplish, because things are moving so fast and you're just kind of getting stuck in and you're really just focusing on delivery, okay? And making things better and better and better. So 6 months goes down, a year goes by, and you will be mind blown by how much you actually get done, okay? But you have to have that drive and that focus, all right? And if you can bring the development mindset to work every single day, you will be successful in a startup. I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 10. Thank you. What does it take to succeed in a startup? We've made it to the last tip. This is tip number 10, and it's don't be afraid to make a mistake, okay? So you're gonna make a mistake. It's gonna happen, and it's okay, all right? As long as you learn from it and move on. Okay? The worst thing you could possibly do is try to sweep it under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen, okay? It eventually will surface, and it hurts you and it hurts the company, okay? It'll slow things down. So own up to it, okay? Learn from it and move on. That's the key, okay? And if you're not afraid to make mistakes, you will be successful in a startup. Now that was the last tip. I wanted to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please feel free to reach out to me direct. Thank you.